Hello, everyone. Nadeem here with PC.Solutions.Net. I just did another recording and I didn't have the headset on and it wasn't very good audio, so I had to redo it. Anyway, good practice, I guess, right? Security, home users. Um, One of the things that's happening, first let me give you a little background. Security is one of those things, a month ago, nobody wanted to talk about it. If you were talking to a company about their IT infrastructure and you bring up security, that was it. Door closed, shut, you're out. They don't want to hear about it. Nobody wants to talk about security. Don't know why. If I speak with some of these business owners personally, and over lunch or dinner, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, security is important, blah blah blah." But then when you talk about it, and from an infrastructure perspective, when you put actual money on it, it's not going to happen, right? I'm seeing since this whole thing with the pandemic and everything, the mindset is changing. Businesses are more open to talking about security. And maybe there's a component of that remote worker, home worker now bringing their personal machines, using their personal machines to work. Maybe that's, part of it. I don't know. But we are seeing a little change in attitude of business owners, CEOs, and CFOs. So that's a good thing. Now, when it comes to remote user security, especially users who are using their home machines, there's a few things we need to consider, right? And I've touched on this before. You need to have some sort of anti-malware on their machines. Antivirus, you're okay. Windows has come a long way. The built-in Windows Defender antivirus is pretty secure. I prefer that over other third-party antiviruses because they're so bloated nowadays. They do so many things. They take up so many CPU cycles. I don't want my machine to be so busy just scanning stuff, not getting actual work done. I guess it's the difference between torque and horsepower, right? You want something to do the actual work. It doesn't matter how much horsepower you have. You want actual work done, right? So anyway, these third-party antiviruses, a lot of times I've seen they put a lot of load on the system, and then they give you roadblocks. You want to install a new application, you want to do a video conference, you want to do this, that, and the other. Roadblocks you have to jump over, hoops you got to go jump through to get that done. So the built-in Windows Defender antivirus is good enough. What you need is anti-malware. The landscape is changing. Antivirus is not that important as it used to be a few years ago. Anti-malware is where it's at. That's what you want to do. So what I suggest is that people who are bringing their home machines, they're using their home machines to log into work computers or bringing their home machines to work, handheld machines. The company needs to have some sort of management component on these machines. So you need to have some sort of anti-malware on there, and maybe, have something like if you don't allow corporate anti-malware on your machines, you can't use your personal machine. Or maybe give users an allowance, hey, we're going to give you this much extra per month and you can use your machine, but we have to install our anti-malware to make sure the machines are secure. Or I've seen companies where they will give users access to be able to look at the logs and look at the settings of the anti-malware that is company owned. So even though it's company owned and managed, but if you give those users ability to be able to see what it's doing, they feel a little more in control and they're okay with that. It just depends, from company to company. Windows itself has come a long way, right? Back in the day, well, don't get me wrong, Windows still has the market cornered. The attack surface is still very big, huge compared to any other operating system out there. But they've come a long way. They're using the least privilege model now. They're using, built-in advanced threat protection that you can get. Their cloud-based service, autopilot, which is great. You can buy machines from a distributor, ship them straight to your end users. The users log in with their Office 365, Microsoft 365, or Azure AD credentials, and boom, all the settings and configuration, everything is already there, right? I mean, we've come a long way. But the question still comes in every now and then. Is there a machine that is inherently secure? And I want to share a secret with you. Most solid state machines, tablets, iPads, Android tablets, even a lot of the Chromebooks out there are inherently secure. They're solid state. They're not as prone to getting malware or viruses or stuff like that by users simply browsing somewhere. So if a user is not open to letting company anti-malware on the machine or company management tools on the machine, fine. Get them a cheap tablet, get them an iPad, get them an Android tablet, get them something like that. They can use it all day long. They can go to whatever website. It's not going to get infected. If something happens to it, reboot, boom, it's a clean slate. Everything is good to go, right? So there is that option. But the interesting part is that now I'm seeing more and more companies willing to talk about security, willing to have that discussion that, hey, your servers that we're trying to secure for X amount of years that we always get pushed back, now it's top of mind. Now companies are saying, hey, Nadeem, get us secure. That thing you talked about last year, we didn't talk about it much, but I think we need to go, get back to that. I'm seeing those kind of conversations. Now, the landscape has changed. The industry as a whole has changed. I think like companies like Nationwide are saying, hey, all of our users who are working remotely, they are permanent remote workers. We don't want them to come in anymore, right? It's a good and bad, right? It's good from our perspective, it's good. It's more IT work, right? But from a real estate perspective, it's bad. I mean, if these people are working from home, then do you still need all those big offices now? Those buildings that you own, what are you going to do with them, right? So there's going to be some, shifts and moves and things like that. But the bottom line, remote user security, anti-malware, get a corporate managed anti-malware on all these remote machines because the bad guys are on top of it. Back in the day, I don't know if anybody recalls the name Netscape. The CEO of Netscape one time made this claim that they are hack proof, and the very next day they got hacked. What I learned from that was it doesn't matter how hack proof you are. Anything that is man-made can be broken, can be gotten around, can be gotten into. So given the incentive, there is somebody out there who can break the most secure thing you can build. So don't tempt anybody about that. Secure yourself, make yourself a harder target so that somebody who wants to break in and do whatever, they'll see, these guys are secure here. They're doing things, I'm going to move over to this other guy who's totally open over there, right? And that's the thing, you want to make it very hard for the bad guys to where it's not, money-wise, it's not going to be time well spent for them trying to break into your system when they have an easier target down the road. And that's what security is about. There is nothing 100% hack-proof. The only 100% hack-proof thing is something like a brick that's not connected to anything else, which means you can't do much with it other than hit somebody over the head with it. And that's about it, right? That's the most secure thing you can do. But anyway, autopilot, maybe we'll do another video about that. Until tomorrow, I guess y'all have a good day, and it's a nice day out there. It's nice and sunny, kind of warm, I guess, but it looks pretty good. AC is running really good, so it's cool in here. But until tomorrow, have a good day and be safe out there.